Hello Home Slices, it's Kiara with Home Slice Adulting, and I'm coming to you with my review for Love and Hip Hop New York Season 7, Episodes 4. I didn't know it was going to be like a double feature today, but let's get started. First, we start off with Yandy and Judy, and Judy fills Yandy in on everything that happened at the meeting that she had with Erica and Samantha and Kim, the night that Kim had her cardiac event. Judy gives the impression that she did not know that Samantha and Erica were going to be there, so she felt kind of ambushed or attacked, which is something I said last time. To me, it seemed like they were trying to gang up on her. So apparently Kim is going to be okay, which is wonderful. Everybody's happy about that, but Judy calls Kim family, and I was like, okay. Since when? But anyways, she says that, I don't know if Kim had a heart attack, but I'll pray for the B word. That was very funny to me. It was rude, but it was funny. But Yandy is always claiming that she wants to make peace for the children's sake, and she gets this kind of half invitation to Lil Mendici's and one of the other kids' graduation. So they're going to do that. Next, we see Rich Dollaz with his baby mama Miracle and their child Ashley. They have a little sit-down talk. I thought it was interesting how Rich Dollaz greeted Miracle with, like, a hug and a kiss. He didn't even kiss his daughter when he greeted his daughter. So I thought that was a little weird. But anyways, Miracle is trying to set rules because they don't want the same thing that happened last time with Ashley getting a piercing to happen this time. They ask if Rich Dollaz is done with the creep squad, and he says he's done with his creep ways, but then proceeds to tell them that he's dating a 24-year-old young woman. Now, I don't know how old Rich Dollaz is, but 24 is probably half his age, so that's a little creepy to me. But whatever. He says that they've been dating for 6 months and it's fairly serious. Who gets fairly serious after 6 months? I don't know. Whatever. He claims that she is nothing like Moniece and that she's not very much into social media, so she's not trying to be in a relationship with him for the wrong reason. So, but Ashley's not here for it. Ashley's like, this is our summer, I don't want nothing to do with her. So next up, we see Cardi B and Swift. And I'm like, Swift really can't be dumb enough to let Cardi use his phone. And, all this stuff comes up with Asia texting him about Cardi and about Cardi's vagina and how she's a hoe and all this other kind of stuff. And Swift, of course, being the, scum that he is, it's like, I didn't want... eventually Cardi was going to have to find out about Asia, but I don't want her to find out this way. And you should have just told her right off the bat that you were in a relationship. But because you were interested in Cardi beyond just friendship or beyond just a working relationship, you didn't tell her. And it just came to the light. And so Cardi was very upset. She confronted Swift. He admitted who Asia was, his girlfriend. And Cardi wasn't mad at Swift for having a girlfriend. That didn't matter to her. What she was upset about was that Asia was talking about her without knowing her. And so Cardi was like, I'm gonna beat her behind on sight. And she says that because Asia is claiming that she and Swift slept together, that it's putting her relationship in jeopardy. And I don't believe that. I don't even think Cardi should be with Tommy. Cardi should be able to do whatever she wants to do. Cardi is holding herself back by being in a relationship with Tommy. But whatever. Cardi says she's being petty and she's considering taking Swift away from Asia. But whatever. And then Swift is like, he wants to blame the kiss on both him and Cardi. And Cardi's like, nope. So next we see DJ Self and Mariah Lynn. Mariah Lynn is out shopping, so DJ Self is trying to recruit Mariah Lynn. But I think he's taking like a little too much credit for making Cardi B a star. I mean, the way that we were introduced to Cardi B was through DJ Self, but Cardi and Cardi's team were the ones that were really behind her, pushing her. And like I said, DJ Self is taking a little bit too much credit for that. But Mariah Lynn looks like a Barbie in her confessional, like with smaller boobs. And Mariah Lynn, you know, it makes sense that she wants to make sure that the deal is, you know, 100% legit. She says that she wants to be priority number one of the Gwen team, and that Self wants her to sign the papers fairly quickly and do a big show for like the launch of Gwen Entertainment. And so he even sweetens the deal by paying for her shopping spree at the place where they met up, which is cool. So next we see Snoop meeting up with Sofi Green at a gym, and she's telling Sofi that she got into some trouble with her girlfriend because of the strawberry situation. And Sofi is just playing dumb, saying that it wasn't her intention. But Sofi is about her business, so much so to the point where she doesn't care who gets hurt in the process. That she doesn't care that what she was doing was inappropriate with somebody else's significant other. And that's why I can't respect Sofi. I really don't like her. Somehow, you know, Snoop is saying that, you know, I have my friend Joel Santana, and he agreed to listen to your music and probably help you out. And while Sofi was excited about that, again, she wants to work with Snoop because Snoop has more connections to the like acting world than, you know, anybody else on the show. And somehow she manages to, you know, weasel her way back into Snoop's good graces so that Snoop can continue to help her out. And Snoop was, you know, silly enough to fall for it. So, yeah. Anyways, next we see Erica, Yandy, Kim, and Judy, and all the children at the graduation party. And this whole thing, you know, I kind of have a policy. I'm a young person, okay? I'm 26 years old. And people my age sometimes get flack from people older than us about us not wanting to date people who have children. Like, I guess it comes off as judgmental if you are a young person who does not want to date anybody with kids. But let's keep it real. If you don't date anyone with kids, you can avoid situations like these. So this whole thing was a mess. I don't want to get into everything because I'm going to be here all day. But essentially, Yandy is glad that Kim is okay. The kids leave with the grandparents. And so now Yandy says that she feels set up. But Samantha, you know, gets right to confronting Yandy about the rumors that she had been spreading about, you know, Mendices being raised by his grandmother as opposed to Samantha. And Samantha's very upset about it. She can't keep calm about anything. She's over the top, and Yandy just feels like Samantha is keeping Lil Mendices away from Yandy, period. Samantha just wants an apology, and she claims that Yandy doesn't pay any of her bills and that the majority of Lil Mendices' financial situation is taken care of by Samantha, and she goes to work 7 days a week, blah, 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 blah. So, whatever. I mean, if Samantha is getting a check from Love and Hip Hop, Yandy is technically kind of paying the bills. But that's neither here nor there. Now, Erica, I really don't like Erica. Erica said, you know, I have never withheld a seam from you. That's all she needed to say. But then she proceeds to get into their personal struggle and strife in their relationship because of the debate they're having about her relationship status with Mendices. Now, what does it have to do with the children? Now, later on, Erica, after Yandy get into this argument back and forth between about Erica's relationship with Mendices, Erica is like, oh, I thought this was about the children. Now, why are you going to say, oh, I thought this was about the children, when you are the one who made the segue into the conversation about you having a break baby and making this little conversation you had about the struggle between you and Yandy and not about the children. So don't even go there, Erica. Erica is steadily trying to prove the point that she was his girlfriend, and if her child is as old as I think her child is, it does not even matter. Mendices is not with Erica. It don't matter if he ever was. They had a child. That's it. Is it likely that they were together as a couple? Sure. Is it likely that she thought they were together as a couple and Mendices was doing whatever he wanted to do? Sure. Is it likely that Mendices was lying to Yandy about Erica's status in his life? Sure. Any number of things can happen, but it doesn't matter. The children are siblings, so get over it. Yandy throws the wife card and Samantha gets mad again. Whatever. I'm done talking about this. Nothing got resolved. They all left. They talked about each other and moving on. Next we talk about Asia and Swift. They meet up to have dinner. Asia, even though she came off as insecure and she was very upset and she was crying, I feel like she had reason to. So yeah, I feel like she, you know, had a point about that. But I mean, if your man is around somebody that, you know, you don't really know or that you have a certain perception about 24 hours a day because they're working together, of course you're going to feel, you know, upset about it. So next we see Sofi and Adrienne, and Sofi is doing this audition and I really don't like Sofi. Something about her is just so fake. Whatever. So Adrienne finds her. So Adrienne just walks up on her and she's like, hey, you should know me. I'm Snoop's girlfriend and you feeding people strawberries. And Sofi was like, well, I fed everybody strawberries. And Adrienne was like, I don't care about those other people. I care about you feeding the person that I am with strawberries. And Sofi was like, well, I don't like girls. And Adrienne was like, well, I don't like girls either. I like Snoop. And so they get into this big argument and Sofi begins telling Adrienne all of the things that Snoop are doing for her, that they're still continuing to work together, that she's trying to set her up to work with Juelz Santana. And it really comes out that Adrienne is upset about the opportunities that Snoop is affording Sofi Green, more so than the fact that Sofi Green fed Snoop strawberries. So they get into a little scuffle. I thought it was funny that there were other people who were auditioning as well in the room watching the whole thing go down. It was very funny. Things got escalated when Sofi called Adrienne a hood rat and you know, Adrienne almost came across the table on her. Next we see Rich, we see Ashley and Jade. So Rich pulls this thing where he's making dinner for his daughter and he surprises her with a, you know, meet and greet for his new 24-year-old girlfriend. So automatically Ashley is already on the defense because she was blindsided about this meeting. I do have a stepmom, so I can say that whenever you are meeting the new significant other of one of your parents, it is always a weird situation. It's always awkward. And I think kind of your first inkling or your first thought is to be on the defensive, to assume the worst, and then they work their way into your good graces. I mean, as a child, you don't have like the maturity to make it a blank slate, but because of all of the bad people that Rich Dollaz has been involved with in the past, I mean, it's clear that his daughter would be concerned. So she already has this negative connotation in her head because the girl is 24, she's never met her before, she doesn't want to spend time with her, and because of Rich's past, and she was blindsided by the meeting. So I understand where Ashley is coming from. Apparently Jade is a paralegal, which is great because that's a real job. So, you know, good job on that. But she was a formal model. You know, she's 24 years old and Ashley calls her, you know, you're basically like a big sister. And she says that marriage has been brought up. I'm with Ashley and I'm not with Ashley. I feel like Ashley had a point when she said that if marriage was like a true thing that Rich was considering, that she should have heard it from Rich first and not from the very first meeting that she's having with Jade. But on the other hand, I don't believe that you have to tell your children everything per se, so whatever. Ashley was being a little bit judgy of Jade, talking about what she was wearing, and I'm like, you know, Jade is coming to meet her boyfriend's daughter, not going to, you know, have a job interview. So I think she was wrong about that. But Jade was under the assumption that because that that she's almost the same age as Rich's daughter, that they were going to get along swimmingly, and that just, you know, was not going to happen. Next we see Snoop and Adrienne, and Jade tells Snoop that she popped up on Sofi, and she's like, so you've been getting her auditions, and she's going to start working with Jewels, and I've been with you for a year, and there have been no opportunities that you have afforded me, even though you agreed to help me on with my career. And so Snoop kind of lied, and then she told a half-truth, and she was like, well, did you get Sofi that audition? No. Well, it was a little, you know, a little trash audition. It was something that I knew that you wouldn't have wanted to do. That was something that I wouldn't want my woman to do. And yeah, so you just lied and then told a half truth, and then tried to flip the script on Adrienne, talking about, you don't trust me? You just lied to the girl's face. Of course she doesn't trust you. I don't know, like, a lot of the stuff on the show kind of seems contrived, but Adrienne's crying looked legit and looked real. And Snoop has this problem where Snoop will mess up in the relationship, and then she's the one who has the second thoughts about where the relationship is going. Like, if you mess up, you need to be the one that's trying to fix it, not question what's wrong with the relationship when you are the, you know, the thing that's wrong with the relationship. But whatever. Adrienne says she has to put Snoop on a probation period, and I understand that. I mean, if somebody hurts you over and over again, they can't get back into your good graces that quickly. So I think the word probation pissed Snoop off because Snoop has been on probation before. So I think that may have been the wrong word for it. Cardi B, Asia, and Swift get into this big thing because Asia stayed behind to meet up with Swift to surprise him after one of his shows on tour with Cardi. And she shows up in the room. Cardi is under the assumption that Swift had something to do with them meeting up, and Cardi, like she said she was gonna do, comes after Asia on site, and they start fighting, and Cardi is upset that she's talking about her and her vagina without really knowing her, and Asia's upset with Swift, as she should be, and she's calling Cardi out of her name and all that stuff. And Cardi is like, you're off the tour, Swift, you know, how could you do this? And from what I'm getting from the whole situation is that both of them expected for Swift to defend them. Asia, as his girlfriend, expected him to take up for her and to put Cardi in her place. Cardi expected Swift to defend her honor and let it be known that they have never slept together. So both of them were let down by Swift, and he created this situation by not being honest in the first place. So next we see Cardi come back and she talks to him, and she's just mad, like I said, for not defending her honor and putting her relationship in jeopardy, which I don't really think is a big deal. But yeah, she attacks him, and that's it.